Our goal is straightforward: clad in the cabin gable. The execution, however, is a little more involved. To clad the gable, we'll need cedar siding. To get the siding, we'll need to mill it. To mill it, we'll need a log. To get the log, we'll need to haul it with a snowcat. To use the snowcat, we'll need to fix it, which brings us right back to where we left off in the last episode. Throwing a track on the snowcat and having to leave it, like Little John, you know, one shoe off and one shoe on. That is, until now. Today I returned with a snowmobile, some extra tools, and my dad.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
So what do you think?
Well, I would still try to gently drive it forward, try and guide it on as you move forward.
Okay.
Let me start it up.
After releasing the track tension, we tried the easiest option, which was to drive the track back on.
Gently. Oh, okay.
Naturally, that didn't work. Worth a try though.
It's rolling the track kind of ahead of it.
Our next course of action was to lift the left side of the 1 1/4 ton snowcat off the ground so that we could free the track. We didn't have the use of heavy machinery or even a jack with us, but we did have a couple 2x4s and some firewood.
Oh yeah, there you go. Whoa, close. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay. Yep. If you can get her up that high, that'll do the world of good.
I think I can do it. You ready?
Yep. Oh, that's a long ways.
More?
Yeah. I need another couple of inches if you can do it. At least. Oh. Okay, got it. Good. That's it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. There. Finally. More. You go look. You'll know. Have a better idea than I do.
Yeah, I think this is good.
Oh, there we go. Okay, good. Now you want to try and drive it forward a little? If you keep her there, a bit more, a little. Try that.
Okay, so we have the track back on now. It's looking good, and the last thing to do is tension the track. And the way that these old bombies are tensioned is back here between these. There's a little cylinder that you put grease into with a grease gun, and it moves this back tire back, which tensions the track. So I'm gonna put the grease fitting back on, and we're gonna pump it full of grease, and we should be good to go. With the track back together, it was time to test it out. Yep, it's on there. Let's go. I'd like to take a moment to thank ThruNight for sponsoring this episode, and as well to show you their new high-powered headlamp, which has become an essential part of my EDC kit. I've used ThruNight flashlights for years, so it was a very natural fit when I decided to partner with them to develop the Outsider line of flashlights, the headlamp being the fourth of that series. As far as my flashlights go, I use the headlamp the most, and that's because I can use it hands-free. So whether I'm traveling on the snowmobile and I need both hands for the handlebars, or I'm fixing something in the dark, or just trying to find something, the headlamp is the light that I use the most. So what makes the Outsider headlamp a high-end flashlight? Well, first of all, it's durable. It's made with aircraft-grade aluminum. Second of all, it uses a lithium-ion battery, which is a high output, and it lasts much longer. As well, it uses a Cree LED, which is a very powerful kind of LED. So it actually maxes out at 1500 lumens, which is insanely bright. So the Outsider headlamp, although very small, because of its Cree LED and the fact that it has a lithium-ion battery, it's almost twice as bright as those big flashlights you would find at a regular box store. Not to mention that the Outsider headlamp is also impact resistant and waterproof. Anyway, I recommend that you check out the Outsider flashlights by ThruNight for yourself. There's a reason why they're so highly rated on Amazon, and by purchasing one, you'll be helping to support this channel, which I appreciate so much. Anyway, my next task was to grab a cedar log on the way back to the cabin site. Okay, this log is now prepped and ready to go. I'll be cutting this into cedar bevel siding, which I will use to clad in the gable ends of the cabin. Now obviously the sawmill isn't set up for bevel cuts since I can't tilt the blade. So instead I've got my felling wedges, which I will set on the bunks and slide in on this side of the log, and that'll lift it up. So when I cut through with the blade, it'll have that nice bevel cut on it. I'm going to have it 3/4 of an inch thick on this side. It'll taper down to about 1/8 of an inch on this side. And the siding will be horizontal within the framework of the gables. I'm going to keep the live edge on the thick end so it'll give it more character. If I cut all these pieces exactly the same and took the live edges off, it would just make it look too uniform, which I don't think looks very good on a rustic log cabin. It's nice to have the character of the wood, which is why I'm keeping the live edge on the thicker side, and it'll be lapped over the thinner side as it goes up. So let's get started. Now we were ready to focus on the gables. Perfect.
$45.25. There.
fit it down into the corner up there and see if we can make it work like this. That works actually.
Okay. There.
Last piece. Well, there you have it. The front gable is now cladded in. And it's looking good, if I do say so myself. I'm glad that I added the live edge on the cedar lap siding. It just gives it that extra bit of character that I was hoping it would. We will eventually insulate the gable with 3.5 inches of foam board and clad the inside as well. You'll probably have noticed that above the principal rafters and just below the common rafters that are above them, there's still a gap, which I need to fill in. I'm also going to add some venting in there as well, but I'm probably going to tackle that in the spring. As some of you have been watching the build, and as you've been looking at the gables in particular, your suggestion to me has been, why not make some custom windows that can fit between the framework of the gable? And that would look absolutely amazing, of course. It would let in a lot of natural light, which is a big bonus. But the downside is that it would probably cost thousands of dollars to make up these custom windows. Whereas doing the cedar siding is basically free. And it looks just as good, in my opinion. The only downside of the cedar siding is that it doesn't let in any light. But for me, that's not really that big of a deal. I'd be happy to leave it just the way it is. Now, I'm not ruling out the possibility of further down the road pricing out some custom windows for the gables. But again, that's not really a priority for me. I really like the way it looks, and I'd be happy just to leave it like this. That's it for today. Until next time, my friends, stay safe, be well, and God bless.